This is a single story plan that sits on 1 acre. The best part about being on 1 acre is you can get every room you want in your home while still having a big backyard that looks out to this. Stick around for this one. Hey everyone, Raj Sahu here, realtor in Central Texas, back with another model home walkthrough. Today we're going through the Abilene plan with SitterleHomes. This plan is over 3,700 square feet. It has 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. It's got a 3-car garage, study, game room, a lot of great parts of this plan, including those iron double doors that we just walked into. And then check out this living room with the tall ceilings, beams running across those ceilings, great windows across the back wall, and then everything opens up to that massive kitchen, which we're going to get into in a second. And then you can see in the back, that's a dining room. And you can actually barely see that dining room from here, and that just kind of shows you these are big rooms that they're putting into this one-story plan. I often find with one-story plans, a lot of square footage gets caught up in a lot of hallways to get to various rooms. I think with this plan, you'll find the square footage is very useful, and that starts right here in the kitchen. Take a look at the cabinetry on the left side. You have this large kitchen island, and then even in the back, you have all those cabinets that go up to the ceiling, including the vent hood. Everything just feels very spacious and perfect if you're looking to build from scratch and pick a lot of your upgrades. Now, I want to circle back to the cabinetry on the left side here. I like that they put a window in this location. I think for a lot of 1-acre lots, your front yard is fairly big compared to other lot sizes, of course. And so if you're going to be using that space, it's nice to just get a visual of what's out there. And I like that they fit a window in that area. And then check out this vent hood with the backsplash going all the way up to the ceiling. I really like in this kitchen how they did just a simple black and white theme with the island, backsplash, cabinets. Everything flows together, and I think it was well designed. And take a look again at how well this opens up. So I think the living room, you can start to see how big that room is. We will get there in a second, but before that, I want to just show you this dining room. I like the location of this dining room. It's in the back of the home, so those windows face out to your backyard. And I like the size. I know they're only showing a 6-seater table. It feels like they could maybe fit a couple more chairs in there, so 8-seater table possible. From a design standpoint, I like what they put on the left wall, where anytime you have a room where there's 2 walls, no windows, it's great to have some sort of decor element that extends the space. And I like this, where it's not like just a huge mirror, where, you know, there's no decor element of that. It still provides you that reflection, so it extends the space, but it's still decorative in a way. Let's head over to that living room that I was mentioning earlier, and now you can really see the space. So a lot of times the backside here to get to that owner's bedroom, which we're going to go to next, you need some sort of walking space. And if you put a couch like they're doing here, sometimes that space just feels very congested. Here, there's lots of room. Even in this living room, you have the fireplace option they did in this model home that juts out, and there's still a lot of room here. And so I always like analyzing living room spaces, because I find with some buyers that say they're in their living room, kitchen all the time, this is a space, if you're going to be spending a lot of time in, it makes sense to start imagining what's in here. And obviously that's much easier to do when you have a model home and it shows you how big these spaces are, even with furniture in it. Okay, let's head out these double doors to the backyard patio, and let's take a look at this lot. First off, the outdoor kitchen, I think it's a good idea, especially if you're going to be buying such a big lot. And I also think for future resale, you know, having things like a gas stub out, maybe a water line for a future sink outside, different things that you probably don't want to do aftermarket. Good idea to think about doing it with the builder as long as it's affordable, because I imagine you're going to be spending a lot of time out here. And again, for resale, it's a good idea to put some money into your backyard then, especially when it looks like this. I think this is the dream if you're getting a 1-acre lot, you know, backing up to greenery, you got some trees back here. Obviously, every lot's going to be different, but I think there are some fantastic opportunities out here where in this community called Clearwater Ranch, they actually have some new lots that have views off the back and that are even deeper than what this model home is on. In Clearwater Ranch, the community, it's located in Liberty Hill, Texas. Liberty Hill is a very fast-growing suburb. If you look at it on a map and you're not familiar with how cities are built out in Texas, then I would say, get educated on that. Talk to a realtor such as myself about what's happening out here, because there's lots of growth with highways and developments and great communities like this one. Okay, let's head over to the owner's suite, which is tucked in at the back right of this home. There is another bedroom in this area, so that was on the right side. We'll get into that in a second. Check out this owner's bedroom. I like the double doors leading into it. I like what they did on the back wall where they put that shiplap wall in. I think you can always do a fun exit wall in your owner's bedroom, something fun for you, and I think it makes this space feel a little bit different than the rest of the home, which I think you always want something a little bit different in your owner's bedroom and in your owner's bathroom compared to other parts of the home. And then I love the windows here. Take a look at how large these windows are. I think Sitterle does a great job with this. Windows, ceiling height, and their homes just feel much more premium. And this is another extension of that. Take a look at this owner's bathroom where you have the 2 vanities on the side, freestanding tub in the middle. You have a walk-in shower that we'll show you here in a second. I like the different elements in here where you have tile on the right side. You have these slender windows on the back wall, which are much different than the owner's bedroom that had those huge transom windows. And these are the unique touches that I like to see in builders. Some builders don't do that. They keep everything the same dimensions. It saves them a lot of money, so every window looks exactly the same. Whereas with Sitterle, I like that they don't do that. They like to keep things different, makes the home feel a little bit more custom. And then I love how they do different design elements like this. I've actually had a homeowner just close with Sitterle, and they did really cool tile work in their owner's bathroom, and they were inspired by looking at Sitterle model homes that had similar finishes like this. And when everything feels premium, it feels, you get the confidence to take a little bit more risks, I think, at the design studio. And that's what I would say happened with my homeowners who closed recently. They did a fantastic job designing their owner's bathroom and other elements in their home. And actually, while we're on that, the backsplash in the kitchen of this home that we're in, it made me think about the tiles that we were able to select at the design studio. So when we built from scratch, we were able to pick all of our options. We were really impressed at all the tiles and backsplash that Sitterle offered. And what ended up happening is, just like every other builder, there was a ton of supply chain disruption. So one of the tiles that we selected got discontinued, and Sitterle was nice enough to allow us to go back into the design studio and pick a tile. I was a little bit worried because usually when all that supply chain disruption happened, a lot of builders just dwindle down their options or cut them out by like 70, 80%. You're really limited. I was really impressed. Sitterle still had great options even when we went to do a tile reselection. And what that tells me is, unlike some builders that, really dwindle down their options because if they can do certain options in volume, they can build more homes, make more money. With Sitterle, I always got the feeling that they were still trying to take care of the buyer, the homeowner who's moving into this home. They wanted them to feel like they were building their home and provide them great options. So kudos to Sitterle. We had a good experience with them. Home took forever to build, like most homes during that time of massive supply chain disruption, but great to see smiles on my client's face when they moved in because they picked fantastic options. Now over to the spare bedroom on this side. What I like about this layout is you're going to see 2 bedrooms on this side in addition to the owner's bedroom. And there's a Jack and Jill full bathroom in between these 2 bedrooms. And then on the other side of the home, there is what Sitterle is calling a guest house. It has cathedral style ceilings. They actually did a structural upgrade that added a sitting room to that guest house. So if you have somebody staying with you for a long time and you want to give them their own space, like maybe in-laws or parents or somebody like that, I think that that's great to have on that side. On this side, we just have, again, those 2 spare bedrooms split by a full bathroom. I love the tile work that they did there, that accent band, really cool stuff. And like I mentioned before, really impressed with what I saw at the design studio with Sitterle. And then this is the other side of that Jack and Jill full bathroom. And we're going to go into the second spare bedroom that's in this area from the bathroom. Of course, you can access this bedroom from another area. Actually, we're going to get to that in a second. You're going to see a study outside of this. And then we're going to end back at the front door of the home. And this is what I really like about this plan. If you're looking at this plan from the road, looking at the front door, along the right side of the home, front to back, is a study, the spare bedroom that we're in right now, the spare bedroom that we're just in before this, owner's bedroom, and then the owner's bathroom. And the beauty of having all those rooms running along the side of the home is everything's still very private from each other, but you limit the amount of hallways as well. And that's the most important part. As I mentioned previously in the video, when you have these big one-story plans, oftentimes you have these hallways. It's kind of like a maze to get to every room, and that's a lot of wasted square footage. Whereas here, you see, now we're in the study, and everything is still private from each other, but we didn't take these long hallways to get to every single room. And so I think the square footage is used very well in this plan. Now let's take a seat in this study. I like that it faces out to the front of the home. There's lots of windows in this area. And then I like how this room is still accessible to the rest of the house. You walk out here, you're right in your living area, but it's still private. So that's that good combination of privacy while still being accessible. And that front door was right behind us. So we're right back at that front door entrance. And then when I was in the kitchen originally, I think there was somebody in the pantry getting some materials, so I couldn't show it at that time. So I got to come back to it, but here it is. So the pantry is right behind the kitchen. Of course, they have a lot of materials because this is a model home in here, but I would say lots of room there for food. And then this is going to be that guest house I was referencing earlier, so private from the other bedrooms that are on the opposite side of the home. I do love a couple things that Sitterle is doing here. First off, that sitting room on the right side that will have a kitchenette that we'll show next is a structural upgrade that they're currently offering. The guest house with these cathedral style ceilings is currently included in just the base plan. I think that that's smart. Sitterle is showing that they understand the emerging trend, which is your primary home buyer has shifted to the largest generation in the history of the United States. That's your millennial home buyer. I know everybody rags on millennials, but they are the driving force right now in the housing market. And the millennials are a sandwich generation. A sandwich generation means they're responsible for bringing up their own children while taking care of their parents. And so I have a lot of people that are in that boat. They're in that sandwich generation. And so they're constantly looking at the second bedroom downstairs that would be, their parents or their in-laws. They're looking at the walk-in shower. Is it a walk-in shower, or is that possible? Is it an upgrade? Is the guest room big enough for them? Is it going to fit all their stuff? What's the closet look like? And then what are our options? They want to see options like this, where sometimes they want to get away, do their own thing in the kitchen. So having that kitchenette option there while just having like a sitting area to read. I had somebody who said they wanted a separate area for their parents to pray. There's just so many different elements to this. And I think when you're looking at new construction options, it's great when you can build from scratch, pick options that make sense for you and your family. And that's why I love plans like this, where they seem to be catering to that emerging trend. This is something that I'm hearing about more and more often, is people scrutinizing that second bedroom downstairs that they want for their parents or in-laws when they're visiting. And great to see that Sitterle is recognizing that and then offering an option around it. Now, heading back to the front door, I did want to show that they had a raised ceiling in this area. They had some really cool trends and windows in there. I think that does actually have an impact on things. When you first walk in, there's lots of natural light coming in. And then they had these separate doorways. So if you're just hanging out on your front patio because you have that big front yard, it's nice to have different doorways to get in instead of, always circling back to the front door. Now, on the left side of this one-story plan, there were some, different parts to this that I wanted to show. So there is a powder bathroom. If you recall, there was 3.5 bathrooms. And just outside this bathroom, they have a mud bench in this model home. And that's because access to a 3-car garage is going to be right behind us, which I'll show next. And while we're showing this mud bench, I should take this time to mention this is a model home. They tend to do a lot of different upgrades in here. That doesn't mean that's all included in the base price of this home. You should never be using this video as a way to say what's included or what's not included. It's just a way to get a flow of the space. That's really the purpose of this video. Double check all upgrades and make sure that you understand what you're getting into before you actually buy a home. And then when you walk in from the garage, which we just showed prior to this, this is going to be that laundry room area. As you can tell, they're just using that for a little bit of storage, but you have your washer and dryer on the right side here. And then through the dining room, that's where we're going to access the game room area. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is a home that, even though it's a one-story, it still gets you a lot of the rooms that people want to have. They want that, you know, game room flex area. They want a study. They want 4 bedrooms with one of the bedrooms to be big and maybe have an in-suite full bathroom. And so this home seems to have it all, and I think this game room is a great cherry on top of all of it, where it's in the back left of the home. So again, as I keep saying, it's accessible to the rest of the home, but it's still private. So if you want to do something like this, where you have this huge couch where you pretty much just have everybody lays on it, which I think is really cool. I think I find we end up doing this anyway with a coffee table, and we all try to get our feet on there, and then you have to kind of fight for foot space. So I think that couch is really cool. I like this sliding door. I think it's a good use for this space, so the door doesn't swing into the room. I just overall love this game room, really like this plan. If you also like plans like this that sit on 1 acre, click on the thumbnail that's appeared on your screen. If you are looking at real estate in the Central Texas area or in other areas, reach out to me. If I can't help you, I'll connect you with somebody who can. And like the video, subscribe to the channel for more model home walkthroughs like this. Take care, everyone.